Your mood cannot be determining your actions. So because you are hungry, you are breaking everywhere. Because you are hungry, you're not talking to your friend. Oh, you're hungry, you're not coming to church. Are you angry with God or with pastor? Who will lose? Glory to Jesus. You're welcome back to Master Series, My Lessons in 40 Years. Again, I'm grateful to God for the first 40 years of my life. And I think you should be grateful too for whichever number you've attained now. All right, whether 30 or 20 or 55. Just give glory to God. He is deserving of that glory. All right, welcome back to this series. This is my lesson number 4. And I say to you, make sure by all means you master your quotients. Somebody is wondering what's the meaning of that. Have you ever heard of IQ, intelligence quotients? It will amaze you that there are 4, even more, of such quotients. But before we go into that, I learned the principle of balance early in my life. It's funny how people do well in certain area of their lives and do so badly in other areas. And somewhat, in a way, they cancel each other out. I want you to understand that life has to be balanced. I know the popular saying in recent times says, this life is no balance. But you have to make it balance. That's the beauty of life. What do I mean? I remember when I was preparing for my SSCE, as we call it, I remember I loved so much physics and mathematics. They're my favorite subjects. Okay, maybe that explains why I'm so calculative and logical in my reasoning. But I really don't fancy English. Somehow, I understand how to speak it. I think I'm doing well, right? Okay. But I don't really like biology. I don't like reading. By the way, I didn't study medicine because I don't like reading. Somebody discouraged me because he said, if you have to study medicine, you must know how to read. And I said, I cannot read. So I love mathematics and physics. I was concentrating so well until one of my brothers walked into my room where I was reading. And he said, what subject are you reading? And I told him. And I said to him, I would then read mathematics. Then he asked me, when will you read chemistry? When will you read biology? When will you read English? And I said, I don't need to read them because I don't like them. And he explained to me how I am going to run into trouble. Because A1 in mathematics, A1 in physics, F9 in English, you are going nowhere. You aren't going anywhere. And he explained to me why and how it's important to study across board, share my time, and I listened. Thank God I did. The first exam I will ever write, I passed. Glory to God. But I didn't learn that lesson very well until I was preparing for JAM. And voila, myself came back to life again. I was studying physics, I was studying mathematics. But I didn't pay attention to chemistry, and I really didn't pay attention to English. And the rest is history. You know how I will do in JAM. Oh, you tell me you call it. I didn't do well. Of course, I learned my lesson in harder way. So this time I'm asking you, create a balance in your life. And that perspective I'm sharing with you today talks about quotients. As we grow in life, we are bound by these quotients. We are measured by these quotients. We are judged by these quotients. So number 1, you have intelligence quotient. That's what you need to go to school. That is the ability to retain facts and information. We need that in schools. Academically, we need to, brush up our IQ. That's fine. It's not bad. But you need emotional quotients. EQ. That is the ability to manage emotions. First, of yourself. Secondly, of others. And that is very important. Your mood cannot be determining your actions. So because you are hungry, you are breaking everywhere. Because you are hungry, you're not talking to your friend. I mean your good friend, just because you are hungry. Oh, you're hungry, you're not coming to church. That's bad. Are you angry with God or with pastor? Who will lose? You, the pastor, or God? Your anger cannot determine the direction of your life. Again, I tell you, you need to manage your emotions very well. I learned that as I grew up. Again, another quotient is social quotient. You need to learn how to socialize. I don't mean going to parties. That's not what I mean. I mean how to relate with people. You must learn how to maintain and even make new relationships. That's important for our lives, because on your way up, you're going to meet people. And sometimes you come down the ladder too, you meet people. So you must manage people. A very great factor in our success are people. You need people. You cannot, you see, life is both personal but not private. You can be a personal person, but you don't need to be a private person. You need people to help you. And to that end, it's important to manage your social quotient. And lastly, the adversity quotient. Man, you need to learn how to handle challenges. I tell myself and I tell people, the worlds of our lives are built by adversity. We don't want to call them problems, but indeed they are. Somebody want to sugarcoat it and say, oh, it's called challenges. Any word you choose, they are hurdles to cross. So I tell you, learn how to manage hard times. Roses are fine. They also have thorns. So learn it. And I think I've learned that over the years. Those 4 have been wonderful lessons I've learned. And not just to learn them individually, to blend them, to understand how they form you as a person. And that is important. Don't be lopsided. That's not a way to live. I am grateful to God that I've been able to learn this lesson, and I'm sharing it with you. So what am I saying? These lessons, these quotients, put them together. Even though they may not teach you in school, they may not teach you in higher institution. But if you are in higher institution today, or you have ever been, I tell you, you can learn these quotients while you are in school. While your lecturer teaches you how to have good IQ, you must understand through your associations, fellowships, groups, to know how to balance it with your social quotient. And in that, you also relate with people and you deal with emotions. You learn how to balance it up with your emotional quotient. And when you face any adversity in life, don't chicken out. That's how to manage your adversity quotient. I tell you, on your way to the top, you need this quotient. So I invite you today to look at this quotient around your life. And I tell you, I have had friends who only got job because they have great social quotient. I've had friends, I've had brother who got his job that he's doing today because he's a very sociable person. In our family, he's the one looking for all the families around. Today is paying off. I encourage you to balance your life. Don't focus on one at the expense of other. God bless you for listening to me today. We move forward by considering lesson 5 in the next video, which is coming up very soon. Thank you for joining the master series, My Lessons in 40 Years. Stay tuned. See you in the next video.